In today's video, I'm going to go over 10 signs that you might be an Enneagram Type 5. If you're new here, I'm Hillary, your certified Enneagram life coach, and I love to teach the Enneagram in the simplest and easiest way possible. But before we dive into this highly requested video, don't forget to push that subscribe button and click the bell so that you get notified every time a video goes live, because I have new videos every single week go out. And the reason why I like to do the Type 4 and the Type 5 videos back to back sometimes is because that's the one that most people can get hung up on. Am I Type 4 or am I Type 5? Because if you're a 4-wing 5 or a 5-wing 4, sometimes there are a lot of similarities. And so I like to do those back to back so that you guys can figure out if you're trying to decide, am I a 5 or am I a 4? You have both of them at your fingertip. And if you missed last week's video, which was 10 signs you might be an Enneagram Type 4, the romantic individualist, I will link that video right here and in the description box down below so that you can go give that a watch so that you guys can really decide, am I Type 4? Am I Type 5? These 10 signs can help with that. Okay, so before we get started into this video, I do want to say that if you are trying to decide between a 5 and any other type, look at the course first before you go ahead and listen to this video of the 10 signs, because these are going to be more behavior based, and the cores are what decide if you are indeed a Type 5. And so look at the core fear, the core desire, the core weakness, the core longing. It's your why. It's what drives you. It's what you make your decisions based on. It's what motivates you. That's what we look at first, and then we dive into these 10 signs that you might be an Enneagram Type 5. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first sign that you might be an Enneagram Type 5 is you can relate to these famous Type 5s. So not only can you relate to them, but you know who they are. Starting with Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Albert Einstein, Emily Dickinson, Jane Austen, and Peter Thiel, if I said that right. Correct me if I'm wrong. He wrote 0 to 1. I don't know if you've heard of this book, but I went and found this in my Type 5 son's bedroom. So you not only know about all those people, but you definitely can relate to them in different ways. I would love to know though, who did I leave out? Who are you like, whoa, yes, those are like, famous Type 5s that we think, or at least we think they're Type 5s, but here's a few more. Leave those in the comments box below. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Moving right along to sign 2, you love books and movies and shows based on knowledge and learning. I will say, as for movies and shows, it's probably not going to be the most popular ones. It's going to be ones that you guys have found and that you guys are like, no, this is good TV. Not necessarily what's popular. A lot of 5s I know love documentaries, dark documentaries, lots of stuff on war and history and different things like that. And if you love these types of books, this one is called Ignition. It's on, I think, building rockets. This book is on machine learning for dummies. More books. Let's see, Unreal Engine for game development. This might be one that you would love. How about learning Java? I'm like, I definitely don't understand anything in that book. Elon Musk, book on him, and that one that I showed earlier, the From 0 to 1, Notes on Startups, or How to Build the Future. These are just a few books that I walked into my Type 5 son's bedroom and got out to see. Are these the kind of books that you guys like? Let me know. These just might be a few books that you like if you are an Enneagram Type 5. So moving right along to sign number 3. Jobs that interest a Type 5. Okay, I can feel the lighting kind of going in and out. It's a cloudy day in Arizona, so I apologize if the lighting is changing a bit. Okay, so what are some jobs that might interest a Type 5? Data scientist, computer scientist, information business analyst, day trader, mathematician, and I don't know if a lot of people think this one would be a Type 5's job or career that they might be interested in, but I think detective. I think a 5 would be really good at that, and they're so good at, gaining all this knowledge and figuring things out that I think a detective would be right up there in a job that a Type 5 might like. In the end, I think if you're a Type 5, you're drawn to any jobs that will allow you to problem solve and grow and learn continuously throughout the job. Okay, so let's move right into sign number 4, which is you basically wear the same thing every day. Maybe it's a different color, but Basically, it's the same type of wardrobe. If you relate to like the Mark Zuckerberg that wears like that basic gray tee and jeans every single day, or Steve Jobs that wore that black mock turtleneck, jeans and sneakers every single day, I think for a type 5, they don't want to put a lot of time and effort into figuring out what they want to wear. Now, it doesn't mean they don't dress nice. My type 5 son, he dresses nice, but he doesn't want to put a lot of time and effort into it. And so he has a lot of different t-shirts and pants and, zip up jackets and different things like that, but they're all in different colors. And he basically wears the same thing every single day. I've heard a type 5 just wants to be able to open their closet, pull something out, and just be done with it. They don't want to put a lot of time and effort into making decisions on what they're going to wear for the day. Sign number 5 that you might be an Enneagram Type 5 is you prefer facts over feeling. Facts, data, statistics, all those types of things are more important to a Type 5 than, say, feelings, thoughts, and emotions. This has a lot to do with the Type 5 being in that head triad, and thinking comes first. And I'm not saying that they don't have emotions, because they do. I've heard that 5s are more likely to observe their own emotions rather than experiencing them, or attend to their own emotions once they're alone. So when they are in the moment with somebody, I think they detach from their emotions, and when they go off by themselves, they can feel those emotions and kind of sort through them. But a 5 might say they prefer the facts and statistics and stuff like that over feelings and emotions. Sign number 6 is you are driven to understand how the world works, which actually blows my mind as a Type 9. I don't even care how it works. I never look into how it works. Like, I don't know how most things work, but the 5, they are driven to understand how everything works. 5s need to learn the why behind why things are the way they are. 5s learn by observing, researching, asking a ton of questions, testing out truths, challenging assumptions. They want to know how, when, why, all of it. Figuring this stuff out is not only fascinating to them, but it actually gives them their own confidence and security. Okay, so let's move right along to sign number 7, and that is your friends come to you to solve complex problems, difficult issues, and things like that. They come to you for answers. A 5 a lot of times is able to help others problem solve. That's what they do. They love doing that. 5s are so logical, and that's what they use to solve problems. So it really can help somebody out if they're like, okay, I need this problem solved, and the 5 will think about it logically and figure it out. But I did ask my son this question, and he said, well, there is Google. He goes, a lot of times I'm just going to go use Google, and he thinks it's funny that others would come to him before using Google. So if you're a 5, do you think the same way as him? Sign number 8, you are a really private person. 5s are private. 5s need their alone time. 5s want to detach the world and have their own space. And I would say, based on, just living with a Type 5, 5s hate it when people barge into their private space. And I find the reason behind that is because they're usually like so into figuring something out or learning some kind of knowledge. They're doing something and they're just like heavily saturated in that present moment with what they're doing. And if someone like knocks on the door, they're just like ripped out of it and are like, what do you need? At least that's what happens here. And so I think it's really hard for the 5s. They need that private space and they need that time to process and to do what they're doing. And I think it's really hard for them when people interrupt it. Okay, so moving on to sign number 9. Type 5s usually hate small talk. Small talk just feels awkward to a 5, and 5s do not like feeling awkward. And especially if that small talk has nothing to do with the knowledge that they have, or if it just seems like it's not something they would even be interested in talking about. It just usually has no importance to them and in their life, and it actually can be painful for them to have to be a part of it. So we are at the last sign number 10 of the 10 signs that you might be an Enneagram Type 5, and this one is you are sarcastic, cynical, and even love to play devil's advocate. And based on the knowledge that I have of the 5 is they don't always even say stuff like that. Like they're not as cynical and sarcastic and stuff like that out loud, but in their head, it's a whole different world. And I can only imagine what is going on in the Type 5's head. And then the playing devil's advocate, I think they like debating. They like going, what if? They like saying, well, have you looked at this? And they like that role, and they like causing people to have to think out of the box and to have to think at all. And honestly, I always wonder, like, what's really going on in my Type 5 son's head. I think it's a whole different world in there than what he even is telling me sometimes. And here's a funny side note. He is turning 18 on Valentine's Day. His whole life, I've always thought it's so funny that he was born on the day of love. Like, yes, I love that. So anyways, that's it, guys. That's all I have. Those were the 10 signs that you might be an Enneagram Type 5. Now, just to be clear, if you related to all 10 signs of being a Type 5, that doesn't automatically mean that you are Type 5, because like I said at the beginning of the video, look at the cores first and then look at all these signs that you might be a Type 5. And I have a video that covers the core weakness, core longing, and all of that of the Type 5. I will link that right here and down below if you'd like to go and learn a little bit more about that Type 5. So which of these 10 things stood out to you? Of the 10 signs you might be a Type 5, if you are a Type 5 or you related to a Type 5, which of these was like, OMG, yes, I totally related to that one. I'd love to know. So, and if you've gotten to the end of this video and you're like, okay, Hillary, I love the video, I related to a lot of it, but I just need somebody to help me find my Enneagram type out. Well, the good news is I am a certified Enneagram coach, and I do offer Discover You typing sessions. They're 1-hour Zoom calls with me, and all of that information is linked in the description box down below. So go check that out if you would like somebody to help you figure out your dominant type. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and thought it was super helpful. But that's all I have for now. I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.